that actually nicking myself while manscaping is more fun than this fucking game. Just to throw that out there.
And you know how hard it is to nick something that small. So... Love the movies? Do you miss going to the video store, acid wash, jeans, and MTV with music? I know we do. Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host, Antoine.
Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry's the fucking line.
Huckleberry.
Bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, during which we will play the game, and we'll open up a six-pack of favorite scenes. We also point out a few generic scenes as well, and at the end of the show, we will rate the movie 1 to 24 cans. 1 can is probably getting shot in the back while you're playing pool. I'm just thinking that might be...
That was rough.
And 24 cans is probably spending some time in the opium den and then having that actress chick like be there in the outfit she was wearing by the OK Corral. You know, maybe
I don't know.
Like yeah, well,
or having somebody make you smoke cigarettes while they're giving you a blowjob and pouring liquor down your throat or whatever else you did.
Or whatever happened there. But before we get to all that, we want to let you know a few things. One of them is we want to hear from you, and the best way to do it. And I'm glad people are starting to do it. Anthony is going to tell you that best way right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, go to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. And in that review, let us know what you would like us to review. And we will pretty much, probably, maybe, for sure, like, totally do it.
Probably, for sure, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, totally do it. And he's right. We will do it. And it'll pretty much be the next thing we can fit into our list. We try to do it the next thing, but, you know, sometimes life gets in the way. Maybe I go on vacation and we have to record a few early. That type of thing happens. Right. So then when I get back, we throw yours in there somewhere.
Like I have to shave my balls that evening. So
whoa! Hey.
Something. Stuff happens. So I'm saying
manscaping. Be damned.
Shit comes up. You got to take care of your shit.
And don't forget to go to our website. And I hope I've updated it at least by the time this comes out. But, you know, hey, check it out. Use the portal there. People have. You can send us suggestions through there. Doesn't mean we'll do it. Doesn't mean we will. But you can send them there. And that's fine. We prefer you to go to, like he said. So there we go. All right. Are we ready for the trailer?
I think we are.
All right. Let's play it.
It was a place where a man could start over, where a fortune could be made. They say every town has a story. Tombstone has a legend.
Who is he?
That's Wyatt Earp. Better name for himself as a peace officer.
I heard of you.
I'm retired.
You must be Doc Holliday. You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.
Hollywood Pictures presents...
The only real law around here is the cowboys.
The story of Wyatt Earp.
The first time in our lives we got a chance to stop wandering and finally be a family. Now this is trouble we don't need.
If we're gonna have a future in this town, it's gotta have some law and order.
What do you want, Ringo?
I want your blood. I want your soul. I want them both right now.
They shot your brother.
Now the time has come for justice.
Guess maybe you better swear me in.
And he has to live up to his reputation.
You got a fight coming.
I'll be there!
One last time.
None of your problem, Doc. You don't have to mix up in this.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
In a battle.
The last charge of Wyatt Earp and his immortals.
At the OK Corral.
Oh, my God.
The West would never forget. Kurt Russell. Val Kilmer. Dana Delaney. Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, Jason Priestley, Sam Elliott, and Charlton Heston.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me!
Justice is coming to Tombstone.
All right, there's your trailer, Anthony. So you know what that means. You know what time it is? It's for you to actually give us some numbers. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to do it. And here's our breakdown by the numbers. And pardon me, I sound like jack shit right now because I am sick as fuck.
He doesn't look any better.
We
either, by the way.
don't cancel podcasts. So here we go. Directed by George P. Cosmatos. And is that correct? Cosmatos?
I'd have to look. I didn't look at the
Cosmatos,
maybe.
Cosmatos. And Kevin Jarre or Jarre. I don't fucking know how to pronounce these names, but those are the guys. And starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, Powers Booth,
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn, Biehn, tomato, fuckhole. Powers Booth, Robert Burke, Dana Delaney, Sam Elliott, Stephen Lang, Joanna Pacula, Bill Paxton, Jason Priestley, Michael Rooker, John Tenney, and Billy Zane, the asshole from Titanic, along with Charlton Heston. Tombstone was released on December 24th, 1993, taking in $73.2 million at the box office against a $25 million budget. It scores 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb and 72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, George P. Cosmatos, which I find is an interesting guy to direct this, because you know what movies he directed that were pretty big in the action world before this?
Big Trouble in Little China?
No. Rambo First Blood Part 2. You know, the one that everyone thinks of when they think of Rambo, not First Blood, you know?
Right.
No one thinks of the original down on his luck Vietnam guy. They always think of the guy with the bow and arrow blowing up, you know, Soviet choppers, and that's First Blood Part 2. And he did Cobra, another Sylvester Stallone.
Cobra, holy shit.
So, while, you know, it's strange that he did those movies and then does this. This is like, I don't understand how that happened, but it did.
All right. Well, that's going to be interesting then as we get into this.
It will be. It will be. Are you ready for the most fun and entertaining thing in the world?
Yeah, but since we can't do that, let's play the game.
Oh, what an asshole, people. What an asshole. He knows this is the most fun part of his day. It's the game. And you know what the game is. The game is where I am going to read this loser 3 reviews. 2 of them are real. 1 of them is fake, which I made up. And he just has to guess which one that is. And you too can guess along. And you can let us know, maybe in your review. Just like you request a movie, say, and I knew you did this. You can say you were right. I don't care.
I hope you do realize that actually nicking myself while manscaping is more fun than this fucking game. Just to throw that out there.
And you know how hard it is to nick something that small. So, Let's get it going. Are you ready, man?
I'm not talking to you anymore. Play your game. Maybe I'll fucking answer.
All right. Doug Stevens, Los Angeles Daily News. The movie is solidly entertaining. Val Kilmer's performance, however, was exquisite. Larry Carroll, Counting Down. Most of the movie is above average, but Val Kilmer's performance is what makes it a must-see. Coke Smithy. Or not Coke Smithy. I can't read my own fucking writing. I just want cocaine, people. That's what that means.
Yeah, you do.
It's Cole Smithy. ColeSmithy.com. Dated and flawed, but super cool for Val Kilmer's brilliant performance as Doc Holliday.
Read the second one again.
Larry Carroll, Counting Down. Most of the movie is above average, but Val Kilmer's performance is what makes it a must-see.
And the third one?
Cole Smithy, not Coke. ColeSmithy.com. Dated and flawed, but super cool for Val Kilmer's brilliant performance as Doc Holliday.
I really don't know. I'm going to say the second one.
And why is that?
Because I feel like it's fake review.
Okay, and if I told you were wrong, what would be your second choice?
I don't have a coin to flip, so I don't fucking know.
He's a loser again, people. But let's see if we can
I'll
make
say
him
the
a
third
winner.
one because you were laughing about cocaine.
Okay, he's a loser twice.
All right, then. Good deal.
Because Doug Stevens, also a character on Speed, played by Alan Ruck, the annoying tourist in Speed on the bus. But you probably don't know his name. I mean,
You don't, yeah.
It's on the IMDb.
He's an annoying asshole tourist.
It should have been, but he had a name on it. He actually had a fucking name. Isn't that weird? He actually has a name for his character in that.
I don't even remember it ever being used, though.
I don't know. That's
Maybe
he
once,
may have. They may have at some point. You know how it is. It's like how much did Winston get?
But again, even if they did, they would never have used his last name. So that's why it's stupid when you're pulling out fucking names that aren't said in the movie.
But I'm gonna say one thing that I don't think people know is like we just did Ghostbusters, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but how much did Winston get paid to be a Ghostbuster? He says it once in the whole movie.
Like $20.
No, $11,500 a year. That's how much.
It's pretty bad.
So I'm just saying, it's said once, so it can be said once, and that's all that matters.
But if the last name's not said in the movie, just whatever.
But what we're on is Tombstone, and
yes,
this movie to me is a classic, and I'm going to say it right up front. I think it is probably the last great Western that was made, because Unforgiven was before that, but that was slow and plotting. Hate that. I hate a slow movie. It's a little slow. It's slower than this one, and I know how you probably think this is slow. So Unforgiven and all those other movies, Desperado with what's his name in it, Costner, Kevin Costner. Those movies came out, but those were a little earlier. I think this is the last one because The Magnificent Seven with Chris Pratt and a few others. It's a remake of something. It wasn't new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Django Unchained, I wouldn't call that a Western. I'd call it a Southern, right? Like it had elements of that, but it was more of like a Deep South movie,
right?
Than that. So yeah. So this to me is the last great Western.
It's funny you say that you mentioned that one because I was actually thinking with this movie, it's like really wonder what Tombstone would have been like if Tarantino could have gotten his hands on it.
I'm not. You know what? I won't say that it couldn't be better. I don't know how it would have affected Val Kilmer's performance because he was amazing. So we got to think. You got to think.
Oh yeah,
would he have made that even more amazing? That's the question.
I don't know. It's pretty damn good.
I think Doc Holliday would have killed a lot more people and it'd been bloodier. Probably. I think that would have been cool. That would have been cool. Yep. But I don't know if we were ready for that because this came out about the same time as Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we were ready as a country for that bloody of a Western. Although they were pretty spaghetti Westerns are kind of bloody anyways, I guess over in Italy, like the Italian made ones.
Yeah, I'm just saying like I'm just going to throw this out there right now too. When I say I wonder, excuse me, it's also like who else could have directed this? Because especially after you told me the guy directed this did like fucking Cobra and Rambo. One of my problems with this movie now, I actually, and I'd never seen Tombstone before. You know this.
Yeah.
Partly because just Westerns weren't my thing.
Yeah.
And my sister, growing up, here's the deal. My sister loved the shit out of this movie, but she was a self-proclaimed hick with her friend. And I was in my rap phase. I want nothing to do with anything.
So this didn't hit you right at the time.
I didn't want anything to do with anything she liked anyways. But, I'm watching it and I got to say what was weird for me is like, I'm watching this and I'm like, this is actually pretty damn good through a lot of it. But then there's also parts of it where I'm like, if I turn this on right now, I would think it's a made for TV Western.
I'll give you that.
You know what I mean?
I'm like Bill Paxton doesn't bring the heat like he
should. I like Bill Paxton. You don't, but that's fine. No, I just think that I think there's a lot more they could have done with it, with how they shot it. That's all.
It's like, well, I would say, what it reminds me of that we're going over the overview here. It reminds me of, and I know you're going to hate this, so just bear with me here. Fast and Furious 6. How it had multiple endings. This kind of had multiple endings because you had the first ending where the Earps are, leaving, and then you have the ending where Wyatt comes back, right? Like you get two endings. You get the sad one, then you get the oh fuck yeah one, So
I'd say more like Clue.
yeah.
Or it could have happened this way.
No, it's funny though. I don't like Clue that much. That's funny. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Although in that review, we had a review that someone requested a movie, and I think they mentioned Clue in there, so they liked the fact that we talked about
there
it.
you go.
And I feel bad because I probably shit all over this movie they love. But hey, it is what it is.
It's a goddamn great film. Clue?
Yeah, I shit on it, right?
Because you're an idiot.
Okay, there you go. I had shit on it. I mean, I gave it a little bit above average, I believe.
You're a fucking idiot. Just whatever.
Anyways, Tombstone, I'm just saying I'm with you pretty much, but I think as for what it is, now I'm going to say this right off the bat. While this has historical figures, it is not 100 historical accurate. These people existed.
Right.
A lot of them, all of them did. But did they exist the way this is exactly and all that? No, I don't. So don't think that if we like something, we like it for its accuracy. We are entertained by it. Remember, I'm entertained by the story, whether it's real or not. I would have enjoyed this.
Right. And I mean, anytime you do something like this historically based film, you're going to have to embellish on some things. You may have to because you're making a fucking movie out of it. And so I'm going to say this too. I'm just going to throw my generic in right now. As I phrased it to my wife, who did not take kindly to me saying this, the self-proclaimed whore that shows up to town to catch a dick. Now,
wow.
I further explained to her my reasoning behind this, though. Well, okay, so here's why I do gotta give her credit for telling me don't say that, because then
you did.
Because then her exact words were, "Don't say something that's going to make you sound like
Josephine
Mike."
Marcus, Dana Delaney's character.
Yes, she specifically said, "Don't say something that's going to make you sound like Mike." So,
oh wow,
I can understand that, but no. And I told her it's not that. It's, literally she shows up. Ooh, get me a piece of that. Basically, as soon as she gets off the damn carriage, and then she knows he's married. She bumps into him on their horses, and essentially is letting him know she's DTF.
Well, to be fair, and I'm just going to throw this out there. We're a little ahead of ourselves here, but he does say that mare is in heat. Like, and I think he's like, I think he kind of came on with weird, like, on horse talk.
No, he was talking about the fucking horse.
Yeah, but I think in his own way, that was like a weird ass come on.
I don't.
Okay.
I think he's saying, I'm trying not to get my horse pregnant.
You think he's an oblivious asshole that just...
I need this horse. I don't got time for it to be having babies.
These horses can't be fucking.
Yes.
But let's go over there in the bushes and have a picnic. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do that.
Anyways, I want to...
We brought the picnic blanket, too. What the fuck?
She had a plan. She had this shit with her. Like you said, she is doing a thing, but I don't know if it's exactly... I don't think she came to town looking for a dick, but she saw something she liked, and she was going for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
And I'd say that she's a woman and she's empowered to do that. Why can't a man do it? Why can't a woman?
Now here's the thing, and my wife kind of alluded to that. It's like, why can't? My point with this was, like, if that's going to happen, fine, but can I get like a little bit more backstory or something to like explain what the fuck's really going on here? Because I never get that.
No, it's animal magnetism. It's like
it's like he's got a wife, but then she's fucking gone all of a sudden, and we don't even get what the hell happened to her.
Well, we know what happened. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want to talk about the beginning of this movie because I think what's great about it is it opens up with a few scenes, and one of them is the massacre of the Mexican wedding of the people who were. Yep. Did you hit your button and I saw your picture go up.
I bumped it, yeah.
I was like, fuck it. Why do I see your name? But
I'm sick. I'm struggling here. Stuff's going to happen.
He's hitting buttons
are going to get pushed.
But no, they show the massacre and they show them taking the wife and killing and shooting the guy. It let us know cowboys are bad.
Very Kill Bill.
Very, very much. But it gave us the bad guys right away. And then I will say it did give us Doc Holliday in a scene not too long after that stabbing that guy at the card game.
Yeah.
So we kind of got what he was about too in that particular instance. Like, he's good, but he's
not to be fucked with.
Yeah, don't fuck with his money or whatever that chick was that was with him. She wasn't. But I love the name that they call him throughout the movie, Lunger, because of his lung issue.
Yeah.
That's kind of mean. That's like a slight. Like,
Yeah.
You're going to fucking die. Ha ha ha, Lunger. You're going to fucking die. Oh. But yeah, that's what I say. I love how it opens. I love. I don't like massacres. Okay, I don't want people to because
well,
but
as long as they're tastefully done.
Yeah, I love a tastefully done massacre scene. But no, I just enjoy like seeing where we stand, and then that just rolls right into them going to the city, and that's one of the things I thought they act like that city is so jumping, but really, what the fuck was there to do there?
As much as there is to do anywhere, that fucking point of the existence of Earth.
You could drink,
gamble,
you can fuck, and you can mine. I think that's it.
Well, this is before internet and cell phones, so what the fuck else are you going to do? There was even Game Boys back then.
Most people didn't read.
Right.
And most didn't play an instrument, but I guess they do go to the theater. They did do that.
So, yes, you're either a miner, a criminal, a sheriff, or a fucking magician. Those were your choices back then.
Yeah, speaking of the sheriff, I'm going to throw out a generic here. This movie, but it's generic for what it is, but I'm going to say that I think this movie points it out more than it is what it is. And the generic was the no partisan anti-Chinese league, like the totally racist things that he belonged to try and keep the town the way he wanted it. Yeah. But I think that's a generic more about that character. I think it pointed out those things. I don't think the movie was those things. I guess the best way of saying it.
Yeah.
Like I like the movie's not itself it's more of a like it just reminds you a lot of people have this whitewashed version of the Old West of cowboys going around right from town, but they don't realize the racism and the shit that actually was going on the whole time.
Guess what? That hasn't changed. People still don't realize that today.
But in the Wild West, it was more against Native Americans and the Chinese. Because they helped build railroads, and the Irish to some degree helped build railroads and things. So that's why it's like it's really ugly. It's really it doesn't matter. We just don't like other people. It seems in our history, if you don't look like us or talk like us, we're gonna treat you like shit. That's what it seemed like, and it didn't matter what coast you were on.
And look at all the progress we've made today.
Yes, that's so true. But I want to get to this. I love the concept that they talk about where they want to open up shops and, do things. Because the number one business that I've heard that is great to make money in is not mining. It's mining the miners. Like, the miners always need shit. They always need food. They always need equipment. The best person to mine your money from is the guy who wants to go out and look for more. Like, oh yeah, you want to go out? Here's a shovel. That'll be $30. That's to me that's the best business you can be in if you're in a
corporate America. What the fuck?
Yeah, but a lot of people are always like, well, I want to go out and find the gold, when really you don't need to. You can sit back, bring a bunch of supplies, and sell them to that guy trying to look for gold, and he'll be poor because he'll never find it, but you'll have a stack of cash because,
Look, that's how you become successful at anything. You learn how to own other people.
That's really bad phrasing.
But it's true. Managers, CEOs, pimps, they all do it.
Pimp. That reminds me of the movie later on. I'll your pimp heart out or whatever. But I want to talk about the first thing we get is one of my favorite scenes is when, and I'm going to give a six pack here in a moment, but it was when Kurt Russell goes into the Oriental. And who do we have but Fat Billy Bob Thornton dealing? Fat Billy. This isn't like the one you see now. You look at that guy, you might not know who it is.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. I
It's not
forgot that he was in this
like
movie.
crackhead skinny girl Billy Bob Thornton. This is
No, this isn't Goliath.
this is Chunk.
This is when he still ate carbohydrates.
So my six pack is also that, but not that part.
What is it?
It's twofold actually. First, just the are you gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
Okay, I have this. I have the
fucking
six pack.
awesome.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite lines. Yes.
But the other thing that I love about that scene so much is immediately I'm thinking Kurt Russell went straight up Dalton at the Oriental and cleaned it up faster than the Double Deuce.
Yeah. And who's his,
like,
and who's his
yeah.
brother? And who's his
Roadhouse.
brother?
And who's his brother? Sam fucking Elliott. And
It
right
is.
then I'm like, okay, we got something here.
We got Roadhouse. But more onto that. The follow-up to that scene is my favorite too, when they're sitting there talking and Doc Holliday, says, Johnny Tyler, what are you doing with that shotgun?
Yeah.
And then later on they tell him you may go, but leave the shotgun. Ballsy. That just shows you have to have a rep. Like Doc Holliday has a rep, and then Wyatt Earp has a rep.
Right.
And
also shows a lot of times it's just easier to smack the bully in the face because they're pussies.
Yeah. Now, I would say this movie is like really 3 pieces, or is it 4? Because we got the part where leading up to the OK Corral, which is where we're at now, where they're in town. They think they're having a good time, but then they start having some issues. Then we have the part where there's the OK Corral and a little bit of war, and then the brothers get hurt, and then we have the reckoning, the revenge, or not revenge, reckoning. But as of right now, we're still in the feel-good times. And one of my favorite things was when your favorite person did her little act. She did her Faust. Did you like that? Did you like the deal with the devil? Would you make a deal with the devil?
I'm sure I have many times.
When you're sitting on the toilet and had spicy food?
Oh, that's for sure, yes. I swear everything to him at that point.
If you'll just take the heat away.
Do anything you want me to do.
But no.
Go away.
But what I like is later on, because the thing is, people watch that, people, when they watched shows back then, were not as critical thinkers, I think, as we are now. And sometimes they might look at that and be a little scared by it because they still had the belief in magical thinking a little more than we do now.
Well, it's because they were also drinking a lot of really bad alcohol back then, too.
Yeah, some bad hooch, Where are they getting their bourbon, right?
Oh, God.
So, yeah, it's probably scary to watch
back
that.
then.
But later on, when they get back to the Oriental and, they're there and Wyatt ignores her as he said he would do. But that's not the scene I like. I have a 6-pack here. And all my 6-packs are probably going to be Val Kilmer, right? Because he's the shit in this movie. And I like it when Earp is dealing the Pharaoh game and Curly Bill comes up and I heard you retired. And then the one guy says, what about you? He says, oh, I'm in my prime. That is like one of my favorite lines in that movie. Not me. I'm in my prime, And I love the whole Latin argument and should I hate him? Oh, I think that is great. But the gunplay, Bean had to train for that. Be able to do that shit. But what's funny is how hard he probably worked on doing that shit, throwing that gun around. And then all Val Kilmer has to do to be famous in this role is take a little cup.
A little cup.
And fucking twiddle it with his finger. And that's all you heard back then. I'm surprised you never knew about that scene.
No.
Sorry, man.
I was listening to Snoop Dogg. What can I tell you?
Well, you can do 2 things at once,
I can. I just
but
certain things. That wasn't one of them.
And you never watched that scene before?
No.
How was it when you first saw it? What did you think of that?
Oh, I thought it was great.
And you never see. Now you know why I like this movie, right? Now you're like, oh, okay.
I'll give you one of my Val Kilmer 6-packs.
All right.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 guns, one for each of you. Yeah, well, he has so many lines in this.
He did.
And they're great. And I want to go to a six pack that goes along with yours here in a second.
Okay.
But first, I want to talk about generic, because before we get to that, because there is, Earp has his wife, and I sometimes wonder if she needed to be in the movie, honestly. But I get it. I get why it created some tension. But she obviously, I mean, we knew she had an opium issue, and he keeps asking her about, is that the Lou bottle that Lou gave you? And but you know what remind me of is like when you watch that is how much that parallels today's problem with it, right? She probably did start taking that for a
Medicinally,
reason.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden she needed it because some people are predisposed to that. And I feel bad because there's nothing that it's hard to help them. Sometimes they got to hit bottom on their own. And I think Wyatt didn't know how to handle. I don't know if he knew what he had. I really felt bad for both of them.
That's why he decided his place was better served to go run off with a gypsy fucking actress.
Actually, a wealthy.
Yes, which we have no idea until later.
Yeah, but your line. I have two for the both of you. Isn't that when Ike Clanton, or is that? Oh no, that was later on. Okay, I'm thinking of when Curly Bill gets really high and goes out in the street and kills the mayor.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's not when he does two for the both of you.
Yeah, this was in the daytime.
But I'm going to give you for that scene though. I do have a six pack when Wyatt Earp puts his gun on Ike Clanton's head and it says, "I'll make a canoe out of your head before they'll get to me," and he knows he's serious. Like, it's kind of strange. Some people just have that effect that people just know they're serious, and I believe
he'll do it. Yep,
he'll do
Back
it.
the
Yeah, he
fuck
will.
up. He's gonna do it.
He ain't kidding.
He's not joking this time, guys. I'm pretty sure he's serious. So and this is like jumping way later, but I do have a question because this is something that's kind of bugs me about this whole era. Just later with, which I know we'll touch on this here a little bit, but I need to throw it out now. With Doc Holliday, the final confrontation. When you're in a gunfight with another dude and you're the only two fuckers there and there's no witnesses and nobody else around, why are you waiting for somebody to draw? Why don't you just draw first and shoot the fucker and be done?
Because they are both so fast that they're trying to react on what the other one is doing. And Doc Holliday is just a little bit faster. And so your thing is once they move, it's over.
Then why didn't he just fucking hide behind the tree till he got there and shoot his ass?
Well, there's some honor in it. There's a little bit of honor.
That's what I'm saying. Honor back then, that gets you killed.
But I want to talk about this. So after we have the mayor getting killed and some of these other things happening, and I know this is going to touch on a political. Well, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
It's very timely. Very timely, isn't it?
Timely with what's going on in this country. Well, I don't know. I don't care when we release this. It would be timely, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think would happen right now to all the morons out there that would cry because people are just getting shot all the time, and they say, you know what? We can't stop the people, but we can. The only thing we can do is let you not have guns, right? Like these people now would probably cry if an ordinance was passed in a town and they took away all their guns and said you couldn't have them out there. I mean, I don't know. It seems so strange that the logical step isn't the one they want.
Like, it's weird to, like, I'm watching this and, like, you're trying to think back, like, if you lived in that time. I'm like, first of all, you're living in a town with like 100 fucking people, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't like fucking like Chicago. Never mind, bad example if I'm talking about guns in the city, sorry. It ain't like it's Sandusky, Ohio. How about that?
Yes.
But it's like, how do you even establish order? It's like, because somebody says they're the sheriff, but it's like, we got as many or more guns than you do. You just wonder, like, how many, like, it makes me wonder how long it took for a lot of like places to get settled and developed before like people just fucking shot each other to death.
Well,
and, you know what I mean?
That's Wyatt Earp's legend is because of what he did in Dodge City. And he did that. He made civilized a town that was just lawlessness and he did his job and he just wanted to retire. Right. So we have an example of a guy who did that. And it was really so hard. He didn't want to fucking do it again. But as fate would have it, you move to a boom town
Yep.
where it's ran by a criminal organization, pretty much. So that sucks.
Push the buttons.
It just sucks. Now, but that all leads up to the OK Corral, right? Because they put the one guy in jail and all that, and then they say, "Well, you got a fight coming," and then they tell him, and they go over there. But it's legendary, the OK Corral. I know you've heard of this before, right?
Yes.
Okay, but
okay.
Okay. I was like, this is like pretty legendary. But as legendary as it is, it was actually really fast. Like it went quick. It even goes quick in the movie when you think about it. Like it is really quick. It's just like 30 seconds, and people are dead. Shit's happening. And this movie,
when they're sitting there 10 feet apart from each other, it shouldn't take that long.
No, but it what people don't understand is accuracy under pressure is different than shooting a target at your local range. You are not accurate. That's why I don't want people having guns all the time in public.
Yeah, but I think that I'm like, this is something you've done your whole life, basically. So
well, they have.
Right. That's why
they lived a lifestyle that made it necessary, because back then it was the Wild West. We didn't have supermarkets, nor a police force or military that was ever hanging around making sure everything's okay.
We didn't have fucking string cheese. It was primitive times.
It was primitive times. That's correct. I mean, you'd be lucky to get no pizza rolls,
no Hot Pockets, no fucking Lunchables, no fruit roll-ups. None of that shit.
It wasn't 100% accurate, but the one thing they did really pretty accurate is when they're walking up, you see the fire in the background that looked pretty cool behind them. That really did happen. So there you go. But one of my favorite things that happens, it's not a six-pack, but one of my favorite things that happens after this, I know it's kind of morbid, is seeing the cowboys walk down the street all like dandied up in their coffins. They have the glass thing so you can see their like blushed faces and their outfits. It's weird as shit. I don't know. I don't know why people would want that.
That is weird to be like made up like a girl when you're dead.
A clown girl, whatever.
A clown girl. Yes, a clown girl.
A clown, a girl, whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with being made up. Maybe in their will it said I want to be a girl. I always wanted to be a girl, so I don't know if it's a dying wish.
I'd rather just make me look like an old school marm. Don't make me look like a hooker.
Yeah, I would agree. Don't make me look like a hooker. I want to throw a generic out. I don't know when we see it, but I have a generic here. I just don't know when I saw it. The split mustache the guy had, where you have a little, that's no matter what. It doesn't look good on anyone, no matter what time it is.
Oh, you mean like with like no hair in the middle split?
Yeah. Like he had just a piece of hair.
That.
On the sides of his lip, on the sides.
Fu Manchu.
Not even a Fu Manchu. It was just right here.
Yeah.
Like if you look at your mouth and right over the corners of it, there's just a little bit of hair.
Yeah.
Like maybe, if you were to shave in the center. Reverse Hitler.
Maybe he had Joe Dirt syndrome, and that's the only way it grew.
Yeah, that's a reverse Hitler. A little bit excessive. It goes a little further out.
Trashy like that.
But after this funeral and everything, though, we get Johnny Ringo a little liquored up in the street.
Yeah.
And feeling himself a little. And this is when we get the first meetup between him and Doc, where it could have gone somewhere, right? Because I love, like you said, Doc, you said the line earlier, I'm your Huckleberry. He comes out and Doc's like, I'll play for blood. I'll play for blood, motherfucker. Yeah.
Shit,
I love that.
Real.
Shit gets real, man. And
it's like fucking hindsight should have just done it then. Could have probably saved a lot of
true
death and pain in the ass later.
I would say you're right. I mean, it would have saved us. It would have saved a lot of shit. It would have saved, but it's not in real life. I don't think it happened that way. So I'm guessing that it had to have a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, because then the movie's over. You need more runtime.
Yeah, and I want to say a couple things. Old time medicine sucks because after they come at the Earps, they're talking about cutting off what's his name's arm, his brother's arm. and Morgan gets shot in the back, and you knew he was a goner and he's going to die because they can't fix anything back then without leeches and whatever, and they didn't have any. It looked like so that wasn't happening. But I do love now. See, I almost could tolerate Bill Paxton in this role.
Okay.
But I love his last words when he's like, you know what I see? I can't see a damn thing. I love that.
Those are some good last words.
And those are real, though. Those are real last words, I guess. That's amazing. That's I can't see a damn thing. Which probably means he really couldn't see. I'm guessing. I don't know that, like his eyes quit working.
Right.
Yeah.
The right nerve got hit.
Or, just your brain shutting down. I mean, I'm guessing it's like a computer. Not all the systems shut down at one time, One thing's got to go, then another thing,
Mm-hmm.
And your body's trying to make it to where you feel the best as they shut down. And it's going to shoot you with shit to make you feel better as it kills you. So
eyesight goes.
Yeah.
Hearing goes. Can't get an erection. Death.
So that's
order.
the first. But that's the first part of this movie is done, right? Like we're done. We're now, or actually, the first two parts of the movie are done. So we've gone through the we've moved in phase, and now we've gone through the oh shit, we've got conflict phase, and people are died and gotten hurt. But now we're into the phase of the movie that's the fun phase, I think, and that's the reckoning phase. What do you think of the reckoning phase?
That's the fun phase because he turns his hat backwards and goes over the top.
Too bad that guy didn't direct that movie, right?
No shit.
He put his bandana on,
just like great Rambo. Just to see him turn his Stetson backwards.
Yeah. But no, I love it because he gets what's his name? He says, "Tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me." Like he's like, I'm in it, man.
I'm back. Tiger got out of the cage.
Yeah, but I'll say we get one of the great montages because of that. We get all those kill scenes and whatnot. Like when did that one happen? I think that might happen a little bit. The opium one where he thinks the gun is it's like they just kills. They were indiscriminate. I would have to say they probably did a lot of.
I agree with that. Yes.
So yeah, but I have a generic here on one scene, and that's when Curly Bill gets the group in a crossfire.
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell's character just says, no, and goes out and kills Curly Bill and kills a bunch of other people. I personally, it's a generic to me because I think he probably should have died there instead of being Cowboy Jesus. Like I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, it's better for the story they live, but in reality, with Crossfire and all those people, do you think that everyone would just turn and shot at him?
You just said a minute ago, those types of gunfights, people don't have good aim.
Well, no, they don't, because those pistols are hard to shoot. People don't understand that your accuracy is only like 10, 15 feet,
Pick a side of the fence and stay on it.
Well, but if everybody shoots in the same direction, the odds are going to hit a target get a little higher than if one guy does it.
Well, yeah,
that's my point. I would think that if I saw the leader go out there and go, oh shit, he's out there. Dude, like why wouldn't that happen? Like, I don't know.
Because they were stupid cowboys.
That, it's generic to me because the believability of it, not because I didn't like it. I thought it was a good scene,
right?
But the believability.
This is your, horror movie. Fucking run out the damn door. Don't fucking go walking into the closet, you dumbass. Call the police. Like, the things you should do, you just don't do them.
Like, they could have maybe done it a different way where he didn't walk out in the water, But I guess they wanted to. They give Doc the line later on, maybe he's down by the river walking on water. Like maybe the script wanted to be a little more, have that kind of imagery in it. I can only think that because that's the only thing. And that's when Doc tells him that, no, make no mistake, this is not revenge. It's a reckoning. And those are two different things. They're not the same thing, a reckoning and revenge. Reckoning is judgment. Revenge is not judgment. I looked it up.
Good job.
I reckon... I did the right thing there. But I really have a problem with one thing, and this isn't a generic. Well, I guess it could be a generic. I didn't mark it as one. Is why do people keep relying on Ike? Like they tell Ike, go do this, follow them here, go do this there. Like, and even Curly Bill, after what's his name, tells Ike to go do a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Johnny Ringo gave him important orders. That's what I was trying to say. Why do they keep asking this guy? Because he's a pussy. He's like a guy who once you get him cornered, he runs and says, I didn't do it. But then, he's really big when you're not around, Like, why is this?
Well, maybe they just don't know.
Really? They don't know that he's failed every time? Even at the OK Corral, he was a piece of shit.
Well, maybe he talks a good game and he's got good excuses. But they like Ike. What are you going to do?
Okay.
What can you do?
Now, Doc is a little bit sicker, is kind of sick, so they go to that ranch, Henry Hooker's ranch.
Yes, they go to the Hooker's ranch.
Where?
Sounds like a magical place.
Where the lady is at, because the one guy got shot. And that's sad. Jason Priestley's character, who obviously was the gay man in this movie, had a thing for that actor. And when they killed him is when he finally realized they were using him and they didn't care for him. Like, that's what got me about that. I didn't bring it up earlier, but that character, why in the hell did he ever care about them? That's what I don't understand. Billy, the character Billy. Like, they treat him like shit the whole movie, but somehow he got Stockholmed with that shit. Like, he was okay with it.
Well, what's his other options?
I don't know. Just ignore them and just have a job and do it.
He wanted to be part of the plastics.
Oh, you're saying that those it's the plastics?
Even in the old
He's one of the Heathers. He's one of the Heathers.
How to find your clique.
Yeah, he's one of the Heathers, man. Oh, you're a fucking problem.
Yeah.
But that's why I just say, and because of that, that's why they're at that ranch, and Wyatt got to see her again. It's kind of sad.
Because the horses were thirsty.
And what did you think about the one guy's body being drugged behind the horse to get his attention?
Well, that'll get your attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Effective?
Yeah. If you saw my body being drugged up and someone said, you got to quit the podcast, you'd be like, okay. No more.
You would see a champagne bottle pop out of my hand so fast.
Oh, I'd be dead. Half of me would be there.
I'd pour some out for you.
Oh, yes. Like in The Spy Who Shagged Me, which we're going to be doing.
This one's for me. This one's for my home.
For my homies. Now, I'm going to go into what happens next. So, Johnny Ringo challenges Wyatt Earp to a fight, and Wyatt knows he can't win.
I would think so.
And him and Doc have a moment. And so, here's where I have my real problem with this movie.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, it's also my six-pack.
Okay.
But because my real problem I've ever had watching this movie was, how did Doc beat Wyatt Earp to Johnny Ringo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if Wyatt had already left, what path did Wyatt take that Doc could just beat him there?
You think about it this way. First, we don't know how far away this was. That it was at the top of the hill or whatever the hell.
We said where, but I don't.
Meet me on Blueberry Hill. Yeah,
we wouldn't know what it is. We wouldn't understand it. Yeah.
If you think about it, depending on the terrain, if they're taking, well, first of all, I don't know if Doc even took a horse there. Maybe he just found a different path that you could hoof it.
Yeah.
So they're also, the other thing too is like, because I don't know if from the time when he left Doc, was he going straight there, because it was supposed to be at 7:00.
Yeah. You're right.
So maybe
Doc took a shortcut.
There was time in between. Like, he didn't necessarily go heading that way at that time. You know what I mean? There could have been some leeway in between.
Okay, I just always thought there was that could have been a hole.
I mean, you kind of assume that the way it's shot. Yeah, it's like he's going, that's the next thing happening.
But obviously my six-pack is that scene, because it's when Johnny Ringo says, I didn't think you'd show, and he goes, I'm your Huckleberry. Johnny Ringo looks like someone just done walked over your grave.
Yeah. That's some good shit.
And my thing is, we started a game we never got to finish, and he's like, "I'm joking. I was just kidding. I wasn't." It's like, fuck.
That was some good back and forth right there for sure.
Yeah. That scene is probably what got him nominated for the Oscar, and the cup scene.
I think everything, the whole movie, he was the parts he was in.
Yeah, but I love that. I like You're No Daisy at All, and I like earlier when he was talking to White, he's talking about big black hole. He's trying to fill it. I think he's kind of talking about himself too. Like that's why he does so much drinking and card playing and doing all this thing, trying to be fulfilled and can't find fulfillment. You know. Yeah. He goes about it different than Johnny Ringo. Johnny Ringo just tries to kill people straight up, with his fast hands. But, we saw how fast it was. I always wondered why people didn't draw like Doc does, because he really just pulls up and just goes like that. Like he just pulls back on the gun and aims it up at his head.
Not pull out.
He doesn't do the from the side and do a whole movement. He
doesn't pull out. I'll just say that.
Yeah, because I always thought the from the side thing was... Because if you ever watch people there are quick draw competitions, but they don't care about accuracy as much. Like they're more about the speed.
Like that's point blank where they were at. But like if you're like, in an actual shootout, you do
20 paces.
You do the hip thing. Your aim's going to be for shit.
Yeah.
So there's, quicker.
I always wonder why people didn't turn to the side when they were 20 paces away. That makes your target like half as much.
Arrow the target.
Unless you're me, because I'm kind of rotund.
Yeah.
If you're the same size every way you turn around, it's like, fuck, damn.
You just need the Marty McFly bulletproof vest. That's what you need.
I'll go with that. I'll do the fistful of dollars or whatever it was. I want to say this about this movie is I like this Western because it moves way faster than those Clint Eastwood ones. Those bore me. I used to like The Outlaw Josie Wells. Thought it was a great movie. But then once you see Tombstone, it's hard to go back and watch those older Westerns.
Yeah.
It
depends on what you're into, I guess, with Westerns. Because I think a lot of people that watch Westerns, they like the storytelling aspect of it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was going on at the time and that kind of thing. Where
they like the way life is settled into the movie and like to see the nuance.
And other people want the Rambo version.
The Magnificent Seven. Now, I want to say the finishing montage was pretty cool. Once again, the last ride, killing them all. Although I still think, because they show Ike throwing his red sash away and he lives. That fucker lives. Why didn't they just kill him? He's been a great consternation for them.
I think they just feel like let nature take its course with him. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
You just got to believe in karma, I guess.
Yeah, I'll agree. Okay.
It's like not even worth the trouble at this point.
Now, the end of this movie, I have a 6-pack. I have a lot of 6-packs. I probably did my own 6-pack.
Oh, you did more than that, yeah. You're working on a solid case right now.
And that's when Wyatt visits Doc in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the sanatorium is what they called them, but it wasn't a mental thing. It was a health thing. And I like what Doc says to him. He says, there's no normal life, Wyatt. There's just life. Isn't that not a truer phrase has been said than that? Really? I mean, there's no normal. And because it's funny, I was watching something else and they were like, you'll have a chance. I wish I could just live a normal life, someone said. And I was like, what life is normal?
What the hell is a normal life?
Yeah, for your normal is different than someone else's. It's just...
I got a 6-pack from that whole moment too.
Yeah?
That also very much reinforces that sentiment.
What is it?
All I ever wanted was my first love, my first cousin.
Yeah, well, back then that was normal. So
but no, there's no such thing as normal. Remember, it's just life. It ain't normal.
Right. It's not normal now. I'll give you that. If we call something normal, but his true last words were, "This is funny."
Yeah.
because of his feet were outside of that blanket, and he thought that was funny. His feet were not able to be covered by the blanket. In real life, that was his last words.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Like, that would be an interesting last words. Well, this is
This
funny.
is funny.
But I do have one last generic I want to give on this.
Gave a lot
And
of those
it's
too.
what?
Said you gave a lot of those too.
Well, I believe if I like a movie, I got to point out its warts as much as I point out the things I really love about it. And one of the warts of a movie like this, and it is, it's normal, but there is kind of a general whitewashing of the movie. Like I said earlier, there's a little bit of, like, they've mentioned some of those racist things and all that, but you didn't see a lot of diversity in the movie.
Yeah.
The only people that got massacred and slaughtered were Mexicans. I mean, just saying, I just thought it was a little bit whitewashed. Good movie, but just like everything in history, it seems we can't not do it.
I think has probably more to do with the fact of who you're trying to market this movie to.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the fact that you're doing
Hicks.
that, and people that love the teen heartthrobs you put in this movie as well, that want to go see it.
True.
Jason Priestley's in it, or Iceman's in it.
Billy Zane.
Heartthrob. Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I mean, this had a great cast. When you think about the cast in this, amazing.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think concessions had to probably be made.
I mean, when you think about it, you have Billy Bob Thornton, an Oscar winner in this movie.
For 30 seconds.
Hey, doesn't matter. He played a good role.
That's what I'm saying.
He played a good role. So that's it. That's his movie in a nutshell. It's Anthony's favorite part of the podcast, though.
Memorabilia.
What do you got going? What do you want?
Same as you, Doc Holliday's little cup.
Yeah, Doc Holliday's cup is an obvious one. I would say if you're going to go for a second one, it would be his guns. Just to have his pair of guns on the wall.
I'll tell you. So I actually was going to say that for a backup one. Only because I was like, I'm not a gun person at fucking all. But I'm like, of any movie to have a gun from, that would probably be a cool one. But I also, two other things that I think would be cool would either be the badge.
Yeah, that he had that Wyatt gave him.
What's it like?
He wore.
Yeah. Or the book.
Yeah.
The book he gave him.
That would be nice, yeah.
That would be cool too.
Yeah, there's some cool items.
Or the elixir bottle with the opium.
You just want to lick
the empty bottle, you numbnuts.
You want to lick the residue.
No, thank you. I did not want to go down whatever road she was going down.
No. Yeah, but no, I'm thinking the cup, everybody wants the cup. If we both had to have something, like I said, I'll take the backup item, which is his guns, and put them up on my wall. You know, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I would really like that. I'd really enjoy that. So, that's it, man. You want to rate it, or do you want me to rate it first? You to rate it first?
This is your jam. I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, I know I talked about this not being 100% accurate, and in the end, I am very happy they didn't do it 100% accurate. Because if you do, a lot of time it makes it a little more lame. It's slow. You know, they don't Hollywood it up, and that's what I want. I want a movie that is compelling. So they made this movie compelling, and it had a great cast. Val Kilmer was masterful. And in my opinion, and I was going to ask you this, I think it's his best role ever. In my opinion, even better than Iceman. I think he acts this one better. Jim Morrison of The Doors, I think, is close because he became Jim Morrison. but I don't know. This, to me, is his best role.
Man.
Honestly, best acted role. You got to...
I know,
he even goes to a festival in Tombstone and signs movie copies. And
I know, but... Oh, I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking, though, what you call it. Oh, the spy movie.
Are you talking to The Saint?
No. Or not the spy movie. The spoof movie that he's in.
Top Secret?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay. He's not serious, people. Okay.
I was not.
And he made, in my opinion, it's his best role ever.
It very well might be.
and he made this movie. Everyone else in this was good. They're pretty good. Kurt Russell's pretty good at his character. Sam Elliott, I mean, dude's made to be a Western star.
Without a doubt.
I mean, he's in the Big Lebowski, and he plays a Western guy in a movie that's not a Western. What the fuck? So it's like, yeah, but Doc Holliday, that was exquisite, and I wanted to give this movie 24 cans.
Okay.
But you have to pull back a little bit because while I like it, it's not accurate. You got to pull like at least one can off there because a little bit of whitewashing. These were probably some racist piece of shits, all of them, when you think about it, because this is back then. They all probably hated Chinese people and were pieces of shit, and we didn't get any of that language, so whitewashed a little. And so then I gave it another -1 just because I just felt like it. I guess I don't know why.
Okay.
So I gave it a total of 22 cans. 22. I think this is the best Western I've seen in my life, other than Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I don't know. Back to the Future 3. I mean,
that's not considered to me a. What did I score Back to the Future?
Well,
3?
considering it's funny because like I'm watching this and I told you the actress that I did have some issues that she's just kind of there and doesn't give a fuck. I as I'm watching this, it was like she kind of reminds me of Clara, but just dumber.
I don't know. I don't think that. I don't think that.
In a lot of ways.
Well, yeah, because Clara's a teacher. She's an actress and just cares about having a good time. So I'll give you that.
I meant just in the ways of life, dumber. So no, all right. So here's my thoughts. Like I said earlier, there's a lot about this movie I really did enjoy. The acting was fantastic overall. But like I said earlier, the things I had issues with were, like I said, it goes from like, it just seems like at times really good to made for TV Western, where I'm like, I don't know if you were almost purposely trying to do that with this movie or what the hell was going on with it. But there's stuff where I'm like, a lot of it, like you could have made, to me, I know you love this movie. Like you could have made this an epic fucking movie. After watching, I'm like, there's a lot you could have done that. I mean, it would have just appealed to fucking everybody. So, that's something for me. The other thing, like I said, and when you mentioned, which is funny because one of the biggest problems I have with it is the whole love connection story, like the whole arc of it. There was none. Like, what the fuck actually happened? And that's true to life. Where you said before,
we didn't even talk about that. How he ends up with the girl at the end,
right? And when you said before, because we don't ever know what fucking happens with his wife, and that's true in history. Like, but when you even said before with the movie, like, you're glad that they changed some stuff for the sake of the movie. That's something where I felt like they should have added or changed something for the sake of the movie, and they didn't. So I'm like, okay, so what the fuck is the deal here?
Yeah.
What happened to his wife? What the fuck?
She went home and lived with relatives and probably died of opium.
Shows up. Right. Are we just left to assume, like, is she the fucking briefcase from Pulp Fiction? What the fuck?
Well, no, here's what I'm going to like. We didn't talk about this earlier, but I think his wife died, and that's why he went and found Josephine later in the movie.
But again, how about just,
we didn't get that. I get that, but I think that's the assumption we're supposed to make, that she's no longer with him.
Right. Well, what is? Okay, so basically at that point, if that's the assumption, that means that she's okay being sloppy seconds. It's like, well, she's dead.
Obviously,
now, so
she already was. I don't think I ever questioned the fact that she didn't mind being the sloppy seconds.
All right, so I'm telling you again, this is just for me overall. Now, I would give it a 16, but that to me is a solid 16 because, like I said, there's a lot of good stuff I do like about this movie, but there's a lot of stuff where it falls for me. But I got to tell you now, after giving my score, the one thing I held off on that I wanted to bring up is the end of this fucking movie.
Living on room service?
No. Well, that'd be pretty sweet. But the whole thing where they're outside, oh, don't worry, my family's rich. And then they're dancing outside. I swear to fucking Christ, I was like, literally, while I was watching this, like, I'm watching the end of a fucking Hallmark movie right now.
What you were watching was a Christmas movie
at the end. A fucking Hallmark movie at the end.
Tombstone is a Christmas movie because there were Christmas decorations in the back.
I got fucking
so there you go.
That's what I felt like.
So we should have done this for December.
No shit. This is Hall and Ball territory.
Hall and Ball.
Really? This is how this movie ends?
Yeah, I know.
A fucking Hallmark ending.
That's why it's a 22 and not a 24, man.
Jesus.
It's got a little bit of whitewashing and a Hallmark ending. Okay.
Wow.
So what's that give? What's that make our scores?
I guess a 19.
And what is a 19 to us? What else would be on par with this masterpiece?
Other stuff that got a 19.
Fucking genius.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. We have Ghostbusters. The last one we did, 18.75.
Yeah, I gave that a decent score, like 18 and a half, right?
Yes, you did. 10 Things was a 20. Totally different movie, though. I don't know if we have much else on here that's, relates.
Yeah,
to
but
this,
you know what's
let's
funny
see.
is if you said to me, Mike, we're going to watch Tombstone and 10 Things I Hate About You, I would look forward to them both equally.
Okay.
Because I like them both a lot, and I could see myself enjoying that. That's a good evening.
Like I said, Tombstone, I mean, I was not disappointed watching it. So,
See?
I will definitely give it
I
that.
am so happy that you liked it.
I didn't love it, but I did like it. Yeah.
At least I didn't make you watch something like Slackers, right?
I'll say it's like, I'm not like, oh my God, why I wish I had watched this years ago. But I am for the fact that I never got to watch Val Kilmer in this before. That I will say was a bummer that I'm just now watching.
You didn't understand the legend of
that.
that
I'm
role.
just watching now. I fucking get it. He tore it up.
Yeah.
So
then he does Batman.
Yeah, I'm just looking because we don't have anything else really that relates too much to this.
No, we don't. There's nothing that relates to this, but it's more of a serious action,
Right. I mean,
that's because you tend not to want to do serious action movies.
I don't like action movies that much.
Strangely, we're going to do one again. It might be Val Kilmer month here.
I'm not a huge action movie person. I do. There's ones I like, but
obviously we're going to do action movies, and you did the whole Fast and Furious franchise. So
no shit. Never again.
We got to do Fast 10. That's right. Yeah.
We're not doing that though.
We are, but he says no. But we're what do they call it?
We're not
completionists.
We're not. I'm not doing it. I don't know what you don't understand about that. And you can keep saying we're going to do it. I will not do that fucking movie. So
that's okay. Wait till we do Franchise Fridays.
You can do it yourself.
Wait till we do Franchise Fridays coming this summer. Mission Impossible.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
So
I told you I haven't decided on that either. So fuck off.
Well, we just did. Hey, did you?
You realize I don't have to show up to the fucking show, asshole.
Did you? Anything else? Was that it? Was that all we have?
For me to not do something, it's just to not fucking do it.
Don't sound like a baby to the people who listen.
I'm not like a baby. This is the most mature I can possibly be having to do this with you.
Is there anything else that you have?
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. We hope no one got any upset stomach, nausea, gas, or diarrhea from listening to this episode. And we do look forward to presenting you another one next week.
Do we?
Hopefully I won't be sick as fuck that time.
Yeah, right. All right. You will be.
I will.